Hello everyone, I'm Ethan and today I will be sharing with you 5 secrets on how to become a stronger empath. So the idea for this started when I made a post on Twitter about how I used to feel guilty about reading people before I had the chance to know them. But then after being right so many times, that guilt kind of went away. And I got a pretty good amount of likes and retweets, so I thought that I would kind of talk about it here, about how people can really use their own empathic powers in the same way that I do. So just so everyone knows what it is, empaths are highly sensitive individuals who have a keen ability to sense what people around them are thinking and feeling. And this really comes in handy in terms of getting to know people, also being able to shield yourself against people and energies. Not everyone knows the energy that people are bringing around them, and they allow things in that they aren't aware of. So this definitely helps with that. I'm personally able to keep certain people at bay because they don't really jive with my energy and what I have going on. So without further ado, here are the 5. Number 1, keep an open mind. And I know this might sound counterintuitive because you're technically like judging someone. But what I mean about this is that don't judge a book by its cover. So just because someone looks mean, don't say, oh, well, that's a mean person. It's a very rudimentary and easy way of judging someone. Sometimes they are actually mean, and you should back away. But it's the same thing if someone smiles. Just because someone smiles all the time doesn't mean that they're actually happy people. So when you go into a situation, just make sure that you are objective as possible, not subjective. Don't go into it going, knowing that you don't like short people, and then suddenly you think everyone who is short is a bad person. So kind of start with a blank slate as much as possible, so that when you enter a situation, you don't have any preconceived notions about who this person is. No one really likes to be prejudged anyway, so this isn't like a means of like, oh, this is how I can avoid people or judge people. It's a way of knowing people. And then when you know them, you can like allow them to be whatever they are, whether they're in your bubble or outside of your bubble. Number 2, it's all in the eyes. The old adage, the eyes are the windows to the soul, is there for a reason. It is honestly my main tool that I use when I am using my empathic powers. They tell me more than words, more than a smile, more than how they dress. It's their eyes. Someone can smile and look very depressed in their eyes. They can be very sad looking, or they can hold some resentment. I'll give you an example. I had this one former coworker that I worked with. They had a lot of negative energy, probably the most amount of negative energy that I've personally ever experienced, and having to be around that, being forced to be around that because it's my job, was a very difficult situation. And I felt bad at first for feeling this way about this person, but their eyes were telling me a completely different story than what their voice was saying, than what their words were saying. Everything about them didn't register to me as authentic. Come to find out that I was actually right about this person. Behind the scenes, they were very, to be blunt, awful. And not like, oh, typical awful, just like really personal, grimy things that I really didn't like. And where it started from was their eyes. They looked very intently, and there was this very like methodical aspect about them where they were always like judging people, whether or not they said it or not. I just felt very judged by the way this person was looking at me. And she smiled all the time. She was very seemingly nice, but I did not trust her. Also, the other thing about her, this isn't necessarily part of the 5 that I'm talking about, but she kept coming at me. She kept trying to get into my bubble. And when someone consistently tries to do that, while you are giving obvious signs that, hey, I don't want to be your friend. I can be cordial with you, but I don't want to be your friend. And this person still tries to be your friend. That is a bad sign. Please follow that. A lot of people allow this stuff to come in because, oh, this person really wants to be around me. And sometimes they just want to steal your energy. So really be aware of that. 3, trust your senses. I believe that everyone has a natural intuition to where it's like your gut feeling. It kind of goes beyond sensory. It's just like, hey, this person has entered my space and I immediately feel uneasy about this. Of course, it is always good to discover where that stems from in case it is from a personal bias. But more often than not, it is your intuition telling you that, hey, I don't trust this person. There's something within me, something organically that is telling me that I should not be around this person. And too often I think people try to be nice and they allow people within their sphere. And once again, it ends up being to their detriment. So that first gut feeling, listen to it, very much be at one with yourself to know to trust your instincts, because instincts beyond everything else can save your day, can save your life. Number 4 will really help with number 3, which is meditate and be at one with yourself. So this means basically the old adage, know thyself. It is important to understand your own issues before kind of going into a situation and just start kind of making these judgments to other people. By meditating and finding your zen, finding your light, dealing with your own personal issues, that will help you get to a place where then you can go up to someone and instantly read them. Because I can tell you that within 5 seconds, I can read someone, and my friends will come up to me and ask me about, this person that they're dating, or like this friend. And I never give my opinion, 1, unless they ask for it, or 2, unless it's like a dire situation. But more often I've been right about them and I've been very fair. I give them positives as well. It's not a completely negative thing of just like, oh, this person's awful. I'm like, no, this person's very charitable. This person has good energy. Now they also have this negative thing here where there's this bit of selfishness, but I will say whether or not it's something to be worried about or something that is not that big of a concern. And that starts by meditation. And I meditate a lot on my own life experiences. I also blank myself and I just go into this zone and find this light so that I can be empty enough to be aware of when someone enters my zone and to know what to do with it when they do. Number 5, make space to be wrong. So the reason why I'm even doing this is because my track record has been very high, and I kept allowing myself to be wrong and really honestly hoping that I'm wrong, because you never want to believe the bad things about people. You don't want to go into a situation like, oh, this person's awful. I don't know them. I don't need to know them, but they're awful. Even for people that I wanted to like, I'm just like, I don't have a good feeling about them. I feel like they're going to be trouble, and they ended up being trouble and causing havoc. And weirdly enough, the same thing can be said for celebrities as well. To where you can even look at a celebrity, and this is what sometimes confuses me, because people will love someone, and not that they aren't talented or beautiful or whatever it is, but I'm just like, oh wow, they have a host of issues that I personally don't feel comfortable really following them, for lack of a better word, because I kind of see the road that they're headed down. And it's not a pretty road. Not that they can't get back from that road, but you're also, once again, inviting a certain energy into your life when you put your energy into someone else, even at a distance. You're putting kind of like your hopes and dreams into this person that is very kind of damaged or toxic or has something going wrong, and then you're linking that energy, and it's to your detriment. But make space to be wrong is just saying that while I have these feelings towards you, I'm also not rooting against you. I'm also leaving that space open in case, hey, if this person revealed themselves to be who they actually said that they were, then you have to believe that too. And I think that that is the best way of making sure that you don't go overboard in your empathic abilities and you're not just kind of casting aspersions on people. So these were my 5 secrets to becoming a stronger empath. I hope that these all worked out for you. Let me know how they did, if you have any more questions about becoming an empath. I truly feel like everyone has a natural ability to do this. It isn't some secret thing that only certain people have. Yes, I believe to a degree I was born with it. I am very naturally sensitive and in tune with things, so much so that I sometimes have the tendency to isolate myself, because when I'm in a crowd, I can feel everything that's around me. So I have to create a very strong psychic shield around myself to prevent this stuff from getting in. But with that said, I still believe that you can harness your own intuition, your own empathic abilities that will help you navigate your life better. So if you like this, please like and subscribe. I also have a Patreon if you're interested, and see you later.